All right, let's dive into two words that we hear all the time, but, are so often misunderstood: humility and character. Today, we're going to explore some really timeless wisdom to figure out what these powerful ideas truly mean. Okay, we're kicking things off with this absolute gem from C.S. Lewis, because it just flips the script on what most of us think humility is. We tend to believe it means having low self-esteem, thinking you're not worth much. But Lewis says no, that's not it at all. It's actually about a huge shift in where you put your focus. So let's really break that down. True humility is about getting out of your own head. It's about taking that internal spotlight that's always asking, how am I doing, or what do they think of me, and just turning it outward, pointing it at others, and asking, how are you doing, or hey, how can I help? It's a simple change, but wow, it opens you up to the world in a whole new way. So now that we have this fresh take on humility, let's explore where it actually comes from. In this first part, we're going to look at how this crucial quality grows and why it's pretty much the bedrock of a strong character. I just love this African proverb. It's such a beautiful way to think about growth, right? It's a reminder that no matter how successful or incredible someone becomes, they started small. Greatness isn't just born. It's nurtured from these really humble beginnings. It takes patience and this quiet confidence in the journey. And the metaphor just keeps on giving. This one shows us something so important. As we grow, humility is what keeps us grounded. Those leaves returning to the earth, that's about giving back, staying connected to your roots, and just remembering where you came from, no matter how high you climb. Then you've got Confucius, who takes it even further. He basically says humility isn't just a virtue, it's the one that makes all the other ones possible. And think about it. That makes so much sense. Without humility, courage can easily become recklessness. Confidence can sour into arrogance. Ambition can turn into pure greed. Humility is the soil that all the other good stuff grows out of. But to really get why humility is so important, we have to look at its opposite, pride. This next section is a pretty powerful warning about what happens when we lose that essential foundation. You've probably heard this one a million times. It's one of the most famous warnings in history, and for good reason. It draws a straight line from arrogance to failure. The second pride takes the wheel, we lose all sense of perspective. We stop listening, and we become totally blind to the dangers that are right there in front of us. And here's a much more vivid way of saying the same thing. I love this one. When you're just climbing that tree for status, just to be seen, you inevitably end up exposing your own weaknesses. It's a sharp reminder that real respect, it's earned through who you are, not demanded from where you are. Now this is so important because it adds this subtle, crucial layer. See, the destruction that pride causes isn't always some big dramatic crash. The real damage is that pride wraps you in this bubble. It keeps you from actually feeling the sting of failure. And if you can't feel it, you can't learn from it. And that's a whole other kind of destruction, isn't it? So if humility is the foundation and pride is the road to ruin, what are we actually trying to build? That brings us to our final section, where we're going to try to define the true mark of a well-developed character. This, right here, this is the ultimate test. Your real character doesn't show up when you're trying to impress your boss or a big client. Nope. It shows up in those little moments nobody sees. How you talk to a waiter, or a cleaner, or anyone who you stand to gain absolutely nothing from. That's integrity. That's the real deal. And that naturally gets you thinking about leadership, right? Because in some way, isn't that what we're all doing? Leading our own lives? Maybe our families, maybe a team at work. If character is really about how we treat people, how does that actually translate into being a good leader? And this proverb just nails it. It answers the question perfectly. Leadership isn't a title you have. It's a relationship you build. If you're walking out front but nobody feels inspired to come with you, you're not leading. You're just taking a walk. Which brings us to our last and maybe most important question of all. Just forget about the job titles, the followers, the likes, all that external stuff for just a second. This is the ultimate test of character. When the spotlight's off, when no one's watching, and the only thing defining you is your own principles, who are you then? Thanks for digging into this with me.